Hi, my name is Zach Fisher, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about security. So, there's been a lot of news around security in the past, and specifically around high-profile data breaches. Things like Angela Merkel's phone contacts and um, Equifax and Yahoo and JP Morgan Chase. It seems like it's almost impossible to fully secure all of your data and your entire intranet. The world's leading experts try to do it, and it's almost impossible. There is a common method of helping to prevent data breaches and security malware. There's several different types of security that attacks that are common: DDoS, Trojan horse, malware, along with a vast variety of security attacks. But there's a way that is commonly used to help companies mitigate some of those risks. It's not perfect, but it definitely is something that helps. So we all agree that there's a problem, but how big is the problem around security and breaches? Well, the average company does not know that they're breached for 197 days. So this is the length of time that there is malware or DDoS or something in their environment that is leaking data, corrupting data, making systems not perform the way that they need to. And then 69 is the number of days that it takes to remediate on average. This is very, very large amount of days. 3 billion is the number of accounts that were leaked through Yahoo Mail. $143 million is the number of people who were affected by the Equifax breach. And then 7 million small businesses and 76 million consumers were affected by JP Morgan Chase. These are some of the larger breaches, and every company is under constant attack at this point of if they have any kind of valuable data. And almost every consumer, you have to assume that a large portion of the sites that you go to are leaking your information, unfortunately. So if you use a common password across all of your accounts, that's probably not a good idea. But anyways, let me get off my high horse, and I'm going to go and talk through an analogy. And I'm going to give credit to Andreas Antonopoulos for this one because he made up this analogy, and I think it works fantastic for security, especially for the security methodology that I'm going to talk about for helping with these types of any kind of breach. Well, so what you have to realize is that the rates of asthma and allergies just keep going up and up and up. And this is due to kids not being exposed the way that they used to be exposed to um, things like mud, because kids are being raised in completely sterile environments. Whereas in the third world, where kids do not get raised with a gallon of Purell next to them at all times, the rates of allergies and asthma have not gone up. So this is pointing to that kids are actually, and then when they become adults, they build up the immunity to certain things through exposure. So your immune system is as strong as what it's been exposed to. So if you live in a completely sterile environment, then any little amount of say pollen is going to put you into a fit. So how does this relate to the security environment and like what I've been talking about with all of these huge breaches and a large amount of time to detect the breaches? Well, most companies, the way that they do business is they put up these VPNs and they create these large intranet environments, intranet, not internet. And this is really isolating them from the outside environment. This is like Bubble Boy, where you have a bubble around your internal environment, and then if any piece of pollen or anything like that gets through your bubble, the person on the inside has not developed an immunity to that attack, and they might die because of a piece of pollen. That's a example. So if your company gets breached, if your sales rep goes out and gets a virus from outside of the company and then brings it inside of the company because they were at a Starbucks or they something along those lines, your internal intranet is extremely susceptible. So let's contrast that with something like a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the exact opposite because everything is fully available, and it's basically been eating poop its entire life, because Bitcoin is constantly being attacked, and because of that, because it's got a huge target on its back, you hear all over the place about people getting their Bitcoin stolen. If you could find a vulnerability in Bitcoin, you would be immediately very, very well rewarded. So, and the second piece to that is not only are you very, very well rewarded, but every transaction is completely open to the public because all of the transactions are being processed through a vast array of computers around the world that are open publicly. So Bitcoin is a great example of something that is not like a Bubble Boy, has not like a Purell child. It's like a sewer rat that has been exposed to everything and has been, built up a hugely strong immune system. But let's just say, in the typical enterprise today, there has to be a VPN, there has to be an intranet. You have to have that DMZ, demilitarized zone, you have to have an internal network that is protected from the outside. So what is the solution for that? Well, a solution for giving your network and your intranet a little bit um, more of an immune system is exposure to attacks, just like in real life with the immune system. So this is something called simulated attacks. So what this does is you have a person who's acting like a bad actor, and they're within your company environment, and they're trying to do everything they can to take you down, or um, to put malicious software, to get information, to do anything that they can to act as if they are a bad actor within your environment. So you actually hire, you you have you either hire or you have an automated system. You hire somebody or you have an automated system that does simulated attacks to your environment to enable it to you to see, okay, that's where my vulnerability is, and I need to plug that hole. Okay, and so that's a really common thing for companies to do, is simulate attacks on their security on their environment for security purposes, so that they don't become like one of these companies, and so that they can respond faster, and they don't have the 197 average days to realizing that they have been breached. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit of the reason why people do these simulated attacks, and a high level security overview of some of the risks and things that have happened in the last couple of years. My name is Zach Fisher. Like, subscribe, and comment with any questions. Thanks, guys.